Okay, don't forget that the test is tomorrow, and if you're wondering what the test looks like, it looks exactly like this review. So if you look at some of these problems and you think that they're hard, that's how it's going to be tomorrow. So you need to really pay attention and do everything that I do on here so that you can have a good chance to pass the test tomorrow. Problem number 1 is asking, we need a W, what number goes in here so that the slope is 1/5, and we're talking about slope. So let's make a table out of that, and let's not put the W in there. So here is my table, x, y, -2, and some number, okay, and 6, -8. So a number is going to go in here, and that's one of these, the answer choices, okay? And that's going to make this table have a slope of 1/5, okay? And 1/5 is the same thing as 0.2. So, and if you didn't know that, you just put it in the calculator, divide 1 by 5, and that gives you 0.2. One divided by 5, enter. Okay, so we're going to use these answer choices, and we're going to put them in here, and we're going to put them in Stat Calc 4, because we only have 2 points. So Stat, and then Stat Calc 4, because they only gave us 2 points, 1, 2. And we're just going to be changing this number with these answer choices. So let's go put it in Stat. Stat, enter. I know this is -2, and this is 6. And over here I'm going to put a number, which is -1/9. That's the first answer. That's letter A. And -8. Okay, so this number right here, they turned it into a decimal, but it was really -1/9. Okay? So then we're going to do Stat Calc 4 and see if it gives me a slope of 1/5. So Stat, arrow over the Calc 4, enter. This is your slope right here. Is that what I wanted? No, that's not what I wanted at all. So we're going to go back, and we're going to go to Stat again, Stat, enter. But now instead of -1/9, look at here. This was not it. Now I'm going to use -48 divided by 5. -48 divided by 5. So put -48 divided by 5, enter. Okay, so that gives you -9.6. Do Stat Calc 4, enter. Did it give me what I wanted? Yes, because 0.2, math, enter, enter, is 1/5. Okay? And if that wasn't the answer, then you would just keep plugging in the numbers. You would plug in the 24 and the 26. So this one actually worked. Again, if it doesn't work, you try 24 and then you try 26 until it gives you the equation or the slope that you wanted. Got it? Problem number 2 says, what is the equation in standard form of the line that passes through the point 1, -2? So it has to pass through that point and has a slope of -2/3. Okay? What do you notice about all those answer choices? You got to solve for y. They're not ready. So you're going to have to solve 4 of them for y. I would go one at a time. So let's do A first. And you're probably going to need extra paper. So if you do, just pause the video, get some paper out, and then we'll continue. So that's 2x plus 3y equals -6. Draw the line. What do you move first? The 2x and change the sign. Minus 2x. Second step, divide everything by that positive 3. Don't change the sign. And that gives you y equals negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 3 is negative 2/3 x. Okay? First of all, we have to look at what they say. They say that the slope has to be negative 2/3. Is my slope negative 2/3? Yes. Okay? Second, it said that this equation has to have this point. So how do I know that it goes through this point? You're going to put this in y equals trace. You're going to type 1, enter, and see if it gives you that negative 2. If it doesn't give you the negative 2, that's not the answer. Okay? So let's go try it in the calculator. Negative 2 minus 2/3 x, and y equals negative 2 minus 2/3 x, trace. Okay, I want it to give me 1 comma negative 2. So you're going to type 1, enter, and see if it gives you negative 2. Did it give me negative 2? No, it gave me negative 2.66666666. That's not what I want. Okay? So let's do letter B now. Letter B. And I'm just going to erase it here, but you guys have space on your other paper. So it's not A. B, 2x plus 3y equals negative 4. Draw the line. What do you move first? 2x. Change the sign. Minus 2x. And divide everything by 3. Y equals negative 4 divided by 3 is negative 4/3. And negative 2 divided by 3 is negative 2/3 x. Okay, so the slope is negative 2/3, so that's a contender. And we're going to put this in y equals trace and see if it goes through the point 1 comma negative 2. Negative 4 divided by 3 minus 2 divided by 3x. That's the equation, trace. 1, enter. Negative 2. That's the answer. Okay? You don't have to try all the other ones. So what I would do on those questions, I would just go one at a time, okay, until you get the answer. Because if you go and you solve all of them for y, that's going to take up some time. And then you go and you put all of them in y equals trace, that's going to take some time, especially if the answer was A or B. So for this one, the answer was B. Okay? But that's also how you're going to do number 4. I'm not going to do it with you, but that's how you do number 4. Number 3 is kind of the same, except now they're telling you that the slope is 0. So what do you know when the slope is 0? And it has to go through point 4, negative 2. If the slope is 0, you know it's going to be y equals 0x plus something. Okay? And if it's 0x, what happens to the x? Cancels out. Make sure that you're writing this down. So really, you're only going to have an equation that says y equals, not an equation that says x equals. So you can automatically cancel A and C. Those are undefined slope ones. So if they tell you, I need one that's undefined, then those two would be the answer choices that you would pick from. Okay? It says that it goes through point 4, -2. So I would put both of these in y equals and see which one goes through 4, -2. But I can tell you right now that because it's y equals, I'm looking at the y number. Okay? The y number. And let's try it, because if it's y equals -2, put this in y equals trace and make sure that it goes through 4, -2. Y equals -2 in the calculator. Okay, trace, no x. You don't put any x's on there. Trace. Okay, you can tell that it's a horizontal line. That means the slope is 0. Press 4, enter, and make sure that it gives you -2. That's the answer. Got it? So I expect you to do the same thing tomorrow on the test. So again, you're going to do problem number 4 by yourself because you already know how to do this. And then let's look at some other easy ones that you can do by yourself. I'm going to show you how to do 6 and 7, but problem number 5 is easy. Just write down the notes. You're going to have to put this table in stat, enter, and then you're going to do stat calc 5. Okay, and that'll give you the answer. That'll give you the equation. And you're going to do that on your own. Let's go to problem number 9. Problem number 9 is like the problems from yesterday where you have to solve all of these for y. Okay, so solve for y first. Then you would put them in y equals trace and see which one matches this graph. Okay, and you're going to do that again on your own. I'm not going to do that for you. Number 10, you're doing the same thing. You're going to make sure that they're all in y equals, and if they're not in y equals, you need to solve for y. This one's number 10. And you need the ones that look like this graph. But if you notice, some of them are already solved for y. Like this one is already in y equals, and this one is already in y equals. That means those are ready to be put in y equals trace. But the ones that are not ready are like letter I, where you have to solve for y. And you guys know how to do that one. And then Roman numeral 3 also, you have to solve for y. Except this one's easier because all you have to do is move that -2 over and make it a +2. So now it's solved for y. So I have 3 equations already solved for y. I have Roman numeral 2, 3, and 4 that you can put in y equals and trace and see if it matches. But you need to take your time and solve this one for y and then put it in y equals trace and see which one of those match. And you have to look carefully at the answer choices because like letter A says Roman numeral 1 and 4 match, B says Roman numeral 1 and 3 match, and so forth and so on. The last one, problem number 12, it's asking for the slope. So what are you going to do with these 2 points? Stat. Okay, you make a table. -6, -17, -4, -9. Stat, enter, stat calc 4 because it's only 2 points. Okay, and the answer is either going to be a whole number or a decimal. No fractions. You can't put fractions in here, so don't even try doing math enter. Okay, I'm going to let you work for a little bit and then you can watch the next video.